Welcome to a Hart Square Tavern, where passers-by from a stagecoach would have offered some place to sleep and maybe some hot food or something to drink. It was built by Andrew Yunt in 1835, where he and his wife Elizabeth and son Reuben Yunt lived here from 1840 to about 1920. It was purchased from Howard Wilson in 1981. Notice the bars over the windows here. This was before we had security. This is one of the second or third buildings that were built. Today we have electronic security. And because of the bars are spiked into these logs, it's a major problem to take them off, so I'll leave them. As you come in the tavern, in front of you is a tavern cage. The cage itself was actually copied off of the Raleigh Tavern in Williamsburg. The cage has a section that slides up and down, and at night you would secure the cage until it was time to reopen the following morning. On the side of the cage is an original letter from Andrew Yunt from Catawba Station in Catawba, North Carolina. In the cage are the mugs, beer kegs, and wine jars, and an early sign saying beer for 5 cents. An eagle bench is carved in front of the cage itself. This was donated by my mother-in-law, who found it in South Carolina. On the window side, note a full set of cooking pots, bowls, fruits, vegetables, etc. The large open fireplace is used for open hearth cooking and has a big octagonal barrel gun hanging over it. It also has a mounted buck that at one time was a tame buck raised on a bottle. Around the fireplace an assortment of utensils, cooking pots, pans, a small bake oven, where you heat up the coals and place them inside. The oven has an early hand-forged metal door. The fireplace has a crane, a meat hook, early andirons, and a trommel so you can adjust how close the food would be to the fire. On the hearth is a spider skillet, long-handled frying pan on a trivet, a solid frying pan, and a Dutch oven. The Dutch oven was made in Greensboro, North Carolina. A piece hard to find is a kettle with a tipper. You just tipped it over so you don't have to take it away from the fire to fill up your tea, soup, or other drink. On the wall to the left is a pipe box with early clay pipes that you'd break off a section after someone else had smoked it. You also see a pipe sterilizer. Here you would place the used pipes in it and place it over the coals to sterilize them. There's a rear large toddy warmer where you would put it in the fire, turn it red, then dip it into your toddy to warm up your drink. By the front window is an unusual and rare table called a biscuit table. Biscuits were made here. It was covered down to protect it from flies, allowing the dough to rise. This table has a wooden top, but I've also seen them with marble surfaces. Under the table, a reflective oven that you'd pull close to the fire to help keep the food warm. To the left of the biscuit table is a 1700s English William and Mary joint stool. The big plantation desk was used in the tavern to check people in and out and collect their money. Above the desk there is a 10 or 11 point set of antlers from a pair of bucks that were locked in combat. I found them while I was bow hunting in Georgia. A sad story, they didn't survive because they couldn't unlock their antlers. A big barn-type lantern under the desk, which was pulled out and set outside on the steps or on a hook to let travelers know when the tavern was open. By the front door is a stagecoach horn. This area now is called Plateau, but in the time of our village it was called Keeversville. Actually, there was a tavern here in Keeversville called the Coffee House Tavern. It also was a stagecoach stop. Keeversville at one time was actually larger than Hickory. In the middle of the room are 2 early tavern tables with a menu showing for the night's food, hand-forged puzzles for the guests to try their skills while they were eating and drinking, and a real unusual abacus-like game using a suit of spades is seen lying on the table. I'm really not sure how you play this game. The other table by the door has an original hand-forged puzzle that my wife gave me several years ago for Christmas. The table is called itself a cricket table and dates to the 1700s. Above the table is an early working roulette wheel. One of the biggest corner cupboards in the village is this 2-door pine cupboard with early pewter plates, drinking goblets, and wine bottles. At the window by the corner cupboard is a gate-leg table with more food dishes and probably used as a serving table. Beside it is a large keg on a stand, still with its beautiful original red color. At the base of the stairs is another table that is set with an artificial, real-looking turkey, apples and a cutlery tray for knives and forks. The bread looks like it just came out of our oven. It's covered by a wire fly cover. There's a huge, heavy, double-handed meat chopper, or dicer, on the wall. At the landing, notice the early clock, and as we reach the top, notice an oak split pallet. The purpose of the pallet was to allow the straw or feather tick. It kept it from going in between the holes of the ropes. At the top of the stairs on the right is a large 1700s blanket chest. Note the rosehead nails in the lid. Against the wall is a heart pine linen press. There's a cradle, 3 rope beds, and a child's crib. This tavern could accommodate a number of weary travelers coming through this area. By the beds are 2 trunks, one cowhide, the other a one-board green 1700 cupboard with rosehead nails. You also notice an adjustable clothes rack and a large revolving towel or quilt rack. This completes the upstairs furnishings. Rules of the house for upstairs: it costs 5 cents to sleep on a pallet, or 15 cents to sleep in a bed. Rules of the house also included no more than 3 people in bed at one time, and boots weren't allowed while you're in the bed.